on, Dalmatians.
Mm-hmm.
3, 2, 1, you're on.
Well, Jeff, it's nice to have a chance to meet you finally
Bobbie,
because
it's nice to meet you.
I have been following your career, and actually I did a lot of the people during Big Chill, but somehow I didn't get to interview you.
I'm sorry.
Well, I am too. We'll make up for it this time.
Okay.
Because I don't often make predictions, but I will in this case. I think Silverado is going to be a big hit.
Well, you know, I suspect the same thing. I'll bet people will really like it.
Did you have a good feeling about it when you were making it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was, you know, as soon as I read the script, it seemed like a very exciting, big, wonderful, I mean, I read the script and it was very powerful and moving and exciting. And when we were making it, I mean, it was, you know, involving. It's the thing you love to do. I mean, it's just like playing when you're a kid. You got out in that western town, you've got this, these clothes on, it was great.
Whose idea was it to put you in the fur coat?
Well, in fact, Christy Zia did a great job with the costumes. You know, she's wonderful. But Larry Kasdan and Christy and I went into Western Costumes, the big place in Hollywood where all the costumes come from. In fact, on my last birthday, just when they were in pre-production, and we were looking at things, and there was a drawing of me, in fact, with kind of a cape on. They knew they wanted me to be kind of cityfied in some way, and elegant in some way, and tough in some way, and I said, I don't know, I think this character might be kind of animal. There's something kind of wild about this character or something. He said, well, I don't know. Chris said, well, I've got this coat. He said, yeah, nobody wears a fur coat in this movie. I said, that maybe sounds like they brought out this deerskin coat that's jaggedy and gray. I put it on and it was right.
And you said, welcome, Slick.
That's right, that's right.
Besides the coat, it seems to me that you looked a lot different. I mean, makeup-wise or something. What did they do to you?
Well, you know, I have sideburns in the movie, but there wasn't that much different with the makeup. Just did my hair in a certain way and had sideburns. And maybe it was the part, you know, and the ruggedness of the outdoors, and kind of brings out, so, you know, the camera's there, but you're looking out there, and there's a whole vista, you know, of Santa Fe. It sort of does something to you.
What was that whole experience like for you? Because I have to assume that the Western atmosphere isn't really your natural habitat, is it?
Well, I grew up in Pittsburgh, in fact, and lived in New York City for 4 years. Now I live in Los Angeles, but I'm outdoorsy. I kind of like the outdoors, and I've been athletic, but it's something I always kind of thought about.
And there you are in a big classic Western.
It's great fun.
You've done about, what, 10, 11, 12 films along in there?
Well, in fact, I did a movie called Transylvania 65000 right after Silverado, and that was my 19th movie.
Really?
Yeah.
I lost count there a couple of places along the way.
Yeah, yeah.
What film do people most readily identify you with?
Well, it's funny. Most recently, I guess The Big Chill was very popular, but along the way, different people have kind of enjoyed different movies and will sort of associate me with and recognize me from different things.
As far as you're concerned, are there one or two or three that are especially dear to you?
It's tough because I had a great time with a lot of them, but I loved The Big Chill and Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I love working with Phil Kaufman, and Threshold, and Next Stop Greenwich Village, and Between the Lines I liked a lot, in Nashville. I had a good time.
Which do you think of all the roles was the most challenging, or the thing that required the most concentration and work on your part?
Mm-hmm. Well, there were different things in a lot of parts, but this last year I did a television movie about Ernie Kovacs. He was a television comedian in the 50s, and that was very challenging, you know, to play somebody who was so recently around and so much still adored and thought to be a genius, you know, was very challenging. There was a lot of material that I had to see and work on of his, but Edie Adams was very helpful.
Did you really go after that part, or did they come to you? And
A little of both, and but I auditioned for it a couple of times, and I sort of went after it.
do you know any other people who were considered?
I don't know.
Was Edie a big help to you? Did you talk a lot with her?
Yeah, she was great. In fact, she was. Yeah, I did talk a lot with her, and she had a lot of material and would talk about it. And in fact, gave me and gave us things of his. You know, I had his cufflinks on and props that were really his, and she was very helpful, very sweet.
Did you know much about him before you went into the project?
Not much. I'd remembered when I was young watching his specials that he'd done for television once he went to Hollywood that my dad used to love, and I remember seeing him, but I learned a lot more about him once I started to do it.
I think the extraordinary thing about Ernie Kovacs as a person in television for many years is that he was so far ahead of his time in how to use the electronics
Oh, yeah.
of the medium.
Oh, he was terrifically innovative, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Jeff, I've enjoyed very much finally getting to meet you and
Well,
talk with you.
me too. It's my pleasure.
And good luck with Silverado.
Thanks very much.
Did you get to keep the fur coat?
No.
Oh, rats.
The boots. I kept the boots.
Something to remember it by.
Yes.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thanks, Bobbie.
All right, close it.
That fur-
And go.
How did the fur coat come about? I have to assume that that whole Western atmosphere isn't really your natural habitat, right? Of all the movies you've made, what, 10, 11, 15, which are the ones people most readily identify you with? Which movies do people most readily identify you with? Are there any few roles that might be your special favorites? Did Edie Adams help you a lot with the Ernie Kovacs interpretation? Did you know much about Ernie Kovacs before you did the role? Now I'll just give you some reactions. Okay, thank you.
All right, close it.